What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. In the last episode, we continued our trek up the Tower of the Gods, and now today this is actually going to be an exciting episode because we are going to take on the boss of the Tower of the Gods. And because you know it is the boss of the Tower of the Gods, it's going to be pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and see what lies in store behind this door. Ooh, that rhymed. I could be a poet or a children's book author. What is in store behind this door? There is nothing more than Al Gore. I have a feeling that I probably edited something really weird in just now. You have done well to find your way to this place. Oh, chosen one. Accept this final challenge. Really, this dungeon hasn't been too hard now that I think about it. It seemed really short, actually. I think that there was something that I missed. I remember the very first room that I entered in this dungeon, I believe it was, there was an eye on the wall that I never bothered to go back and shoot that eye, so I think it was probably just a treasure chart though, so since I'm not 100%ing this, that's alright. But what do we have here? We have Andross from Star Fox 64. You know what I love more than anything? I love crossovers, so this is what's going on right now, guys. I'm kind of waiting for an R-Wing to come, to come help me right now, because I could really use the help, Falco, Fox, Peppy, Come on, Slippy, where are you guys? I need your help here. Oh, the jokes. Oh, the puns. It's so punny. It's so punny. Oh, help me. I can do that? I never knew that I could hit the eye with my sword. I always thought that you had to use the bow and arrow. And this room is really interesting. Wow, this is like a really futuristic room and all. Now, normally I'd go ahead and explain how you beat the boss, but I'm actually kind of at a loss right now. I'm a little confused because I'm hitting this guy's hand, but there you go. I thought that I was doing it wrong, but it looks like it just takes some time. Patience is a virtue, as they say, and it's true, I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and give a lesson about it, although that is the life lesson of the day, kids. Oh, and Andross is really going all out, except his hands are kind of dead. I like how he's kind of trying to blow me up with stuff coming out of his mouth. I guess he shoots bombs or something. But now I'm going to place a bomb inside of his mouth. How do you like that, Andross? A to throw. A to throw. Wait a minute. Isn't it normally A to drop? You see, every time I forget what button it is to, and I'm going to just quickly remove my Deku Leaf. I don't need that. I keep forgetting what button it is to throw. I'm pretty sure that it was ZR to throw, or was it to drop? But you know what? That's aside the point. That's not so important right now. What's really important is the fact that I forgot to start my timer, and I want to show you guys something. So. Oh, excuse me. You know how you have to use arrows in order to defeat this enemy, basically? Well, you see how I'm down to 4 right now, and if I shoot again, I'll be down to 3. Okay, and now I'm down to 2. That was a waste of an arrow, but I'd rather waste an arrow than lose a heart or anything like that. So I'm down to 1, and now I've got no more arrows, right? Well, arrows come out of his nostril, the game is very forgiving in that sense, but I think it makes sense with regards to the story because I don't really think that this boss here is trying to kill me per se. I think all he's trying to do is prove my courage. So, of course, he wouldn't want to kill me. Maybe these guys aren't so bad. Maybe this is a device created by the goddesses. I mean, that would be an interesting concept, But as much as a Zelda fan as I am, unfortunately, I am not all too familiar with the— Whoa! I did not expect that, Andross. I am not all too familiar with the lore of The Legend of Zelda, although I did take a look at the Hyrule Historia one time at my local Barnes & Nobles, which, as many of you guys know, if you have, like, the Hyrule Historia at your Barnes & Nobles, it's wrapped up and covered up in plastic. Like, you know how a lot of book publishers, request that they have the book be published, within the plastic casing so that people can't read it at the bookstore or whatever, but for some reason or another, someone removed the plastic and, no one seemed to mind it, so I went ahead and read it, and Hyrule Historia is really interesting, and I wish that, I had it, but it's $30, $30 for a book? $30 for reading, man? I don't think I agree with that. I'm just kidding, kids. Reading is good. Keep reading, Reading Rainbow, all that Hooked on Phonics. Those are all great things. This boss is taking, now that I think about it, I've spent so much time talking because I really should have defeated the enemy or the boss by now. This should be the last blow. And here we go! Eat this, you know, literally. Eat it. You know, literally. That's so funny. So funny, so funny. The path can now be opened. This is really terrifying. If I were in Link's position, I'd be kind of looking around like, what's going on? Someone? What will now come to pass is tight. You see, that's what happens when you talk about other things instead of actually reading what the guy is saying. But what he was saying was basically this. The path is open and, you know, now we can continue our adventure. Yay. Which, by the way, we have not saved our sister yet. Poor Errol. I estimate, like I said before, it's probably been around a month, you know, since all of this stuff started taking place. From the moment that, you know, the pirates stepped foot on Outset Island. I think it's been a month or so, but still, imagine staying in a place like the Forsaken Fortress for around a month, you know, a stinky prison, you know, and, you know, I mean, there were 2 other girls there too, right? So, I mean, you made some friends and all, so that's cool, but, you know, there's stinky moblins and all of that, and there are rats and all. I remember rats, for sure, and I think those are the only mobs in the Forsaken Fortress. Probably mobs isn't the right word. I think that's a word used for Minecraft. I don't really know if game developers or gamers in general use the word mob for other games aside from Minecraft. I could be wrong, you know, but moblins are moblins. Ooh, moblins. You get it? Because, you know, if they're mobs, they're moblin mobs. So funny. I crack myself up all the time, you know? I always tell jokes to myself like this, and ooh! Circle of light. Not the circle of life, by the way. That's not the same. This is a circle of light. How did we get down here so quickly? The King of Red Lions probably grabbed me from the top of the tower and was like, quick, let's get out of here! And now we're here. I don't understand how the King of Red Lions would make it to the top, though. He kind of jumped really high and then grabbed me and all of that. It would seem the gods have acknowledged you to be a true hero. And what I said just now doesn't make any sense, by the way. The King of Red Lions can't do that, you know. That's defying gravity, and boats tend to not do that. Once you take your first step into the world beyond the Ring of Light, you see shimmering in the waves before you. Your true trial will begin. All of that was not the true trial. That's kind of a downer. Even though I said that this dungeon was relatively easy and relatively short even, I still feel like, you know, I felt like that was still a trial. We are descending. Look at Link, he can't hold his breath anymore. He's gonna drown! Just kidding. He's actually going to be able to breathe underwater. Question for you guys. If you guys could breathe underwater, would you guys swim? And assuming that the pressure of the water and the air won't crush you, by the way, as you continue to go, you know, lower and lower into the depths of the ocean. Would you guys swim to the bottom of the ocean? Because personally, I've seen some really, really creepy pictures of like underwater creatures, and they're terrifying, you know. As cool as it would be to swim under the ocean like Link is doing here, you know, I probably won't do it unless it means that I find a hidden land like this and a hidden castle. Then that would be pretty awesome. Is that like from an anime now that I think about it? Was that concept like in an anime? I don't even know. You're probably wondering where we are, aren't you? Unfortunately, there is not enough time for me to explain it to you now. Once you are able to strike down Ganon with the item you obtain in this castle, all will be made clear to you. Trust in my words, see what awaits you in the castle. This is actually really exciting, you know, whenever I let's play things, it gets really exciting. We're going to get some special item that we can use to defeat Ganon, right? So, let's see what that is inside of here. And I like how, in this castle, the track is actually a familiar one, but, you know, time is frozen as you can see, so there's no music playing now. But once time resumes, you guys will hear a track that's all too familiar, for many of you Zelda fans anyway. But unfortunately, now that I think about it, the game that this song is from, I never played it. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I never bothered to purchase it yet. But before we go on, I want to show you guys this because I think that this is like spectacular. You see this? He's got glowing eyes and everything. All right, ShdwjGaming, I'll need you to listen. Ooh, I hit my microphone stand. If you heard a loud noise, I'm sorry. I'll need you to listen to me for a moment. The item you seek is hidden somewhere in this castle. To find it, you must find the entrance to the basement. But the entrance has been blocked by a mighty threshold, firmly sealed to prevent evil from ever gaining access. Do you know where to search and what you must do to open the hidden way? Because that's how you read hidden. It's actually hidden. You will find a clue in the shape of the heraldry near where we arrived at the castle. Near the heraldry. And we can see that over here, I believe. I'm pretty sure that he's referring to this statue over here. Because it's really the biggest one, I believe. But I probably should have looked from the front. Because, you know, even though we entered, you know, that way, you'd think that you'd see the front of the statue, you know, when entering the castle. Unless that's actually the back exit, then you know, I'm sorry for complaining. Complaining's not good. But yeah, you see that Triforce? That's what we need to do, you know? It's like no one could have ever figured out that, you know, you need to make the shape of a Triforce in this game. So really, I don't really think this is going to be entertaining for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to the part where I actually make the Triforce. So, you know, wish me luck, because this is not going to be that fun for me either. If it's not going to be fun for you guys, chances are it's not going to be fun for me either. So, okay, so I completed it, but I trapped myself in the middle. It's a good thing that the blocks, or not the blocks, because, you know, the triangle stones were sunk into the ground like that, or sank into the ground like that, because if not, then I would be stuck there for all of eternity, and that is where the credits would roll. I, for one, would really think that that would be quite the alternate ending to the Legend of Zelda series, because, you know, if that were to happen, then they wouldn't make any more Legend of Zelda games, you know? But here we see that this statue was moved, and now we're going inside this secret room. And this is where we will find the great weapon that we will use to strike down the wicked Ganon, evil's bane, as they say. Excellent, ShdwjGaming. To perceive such a puzzle and decipher it is no small feat. Not exactly. It kind of is a small feat. But you know what? Thank you for the compliment anyway. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say that you are a nice boat. Where are you anyway? Oh, he's talking through the stone. Sometimes I forget that he talks through that magical stone that originally belonged to Tetra, but we were so nice as to not, you know, return it to her. So, you know, that's the type of person that we are. We're the type of person that finds an item that doesn't belong to us and then doesn't bother to return it. And as I'm talking, these statues are moving. That is not a normal. That's not a normal either. What's going on? And Link's 3D model is frozen. Speaking of frozen, the mobs that were frozen are now going to be unfrozen. I did it. That's quite the accomplishment. Oh, let me catch my breath. And look at the colored windows. This place is really pretty. It's so pretty. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh, that music too. That music is so nostalgic. Because Ocarina of Time was the... Oops. I stepped on my mic stand again. You got the Master Sword, the legendary blade with the power to repel evil, once wielded by the legendary hero himself. And now it belongs to us. And then we will someday be considered a legendary hero. But what I was saying was that Ocarina of Time was the very first Zelda game that I played, so... And I know that whenever you pulled out the Master Sword or put it back, that's the jingle that would play, so of course it made me feel nostalgic. But before we leave, I wanna point out something to you guys. I'm sure that many of you guys already know this, but maybe I can go up here for a better view, unless the statues are gonna be so rude as to block my way. This pillar's in the way, so... But you see that guy? That is Rauru. I believe that's how you pronounce it, from Ocarina of Time. And then over here, you have Impa, who is also from Ocarina of Time. And here you have, I forgot her name. That one Gerudo chick. And then here we have Darunia, the leader of the Gorons in Ocarina of Time. Here you have Soraya, Link's best friend in Ocarina of Time. And here you have Princess Rudo, Link's supposed wife in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yes, that is supposedly... Well, at least in her mind anyway, she was supposed to marry Link, but of course that didn't turn out because just like with all of the other people, you know, printed on these windows, all of these characters are sages that kind of stayed in the sacred realm, I believe, and then kind of watched over Hyrule to make sure that everything was okay and all of that. And they were the ones that sealed Ganon away in Ocarina of Time. Spoiler alert, by the way. Oh! And they are alive! Whoa, look at that! That's awesome! Did you see that? I didn't know that the Moblins could buy Heelys in this game. That's tight, man. Before I fight all of these guys, as tempting as it is to just go ahead and start a brawl, start brawling here, you know, Super Smash Brothers Brawl and all. Yeah, by the way, Moblin for Smash Bros. 4. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here because we have been running for a while, so. But you can expect some exciting action, some exciting fighting, you know, in the next episode. So, like, you know, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit like or share with your friends even. And if you would like to see more from me, please don't feel shy. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, it'd really help in growing my channel. So, until then, I will see you guys in the next episode. So take care.